Hey everyone, my name is Trevor Daly with MagMod. Thanks for joining us for another How I Shot It. This week, I'm going to be chatting with the incredible photographer, Ivan Duran. I'm excited to have you on here. You know, Ivan, it's funny. I've been following your work probably for, a couple years now, and I've seen you just skyrocket. You've become so popular in different communities. Not only the MagMod community, but all kinds of communities just because of all your amazing work. So I appreciate you taking the time to do this call with me.
Of course, I'm really excited to talk to you guys, and well, I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ivan, I'm gonna say your name the English way because it seems like I hear everyone say it
Yeah.
that way, Ivan Duran. But I believe you had mentioned we were just kind of pre-chatting, and you were saying that Spanish is actually your first language. So I guess it would be
Yes,
Ivan Duran, right?
exactly. That's. But like not a lot of people calls me that. Even like the Spanish speaking, like we were talking before,
Yeah.
they just call me now Ivan. Like even my family now, just
Really?
Ivan.
That's
Yeah.
funny. Right on. Well, Ivan, I am, like I said, I'm excited to get you on here because you do some incredible work, and I love that you do a variety. And I think what's fantastic is in this call, we're going to actually show how you have a variety of work. I think we're going to do one. We have a couple models. We have a wedding. We have a quinceañera. You do this
Yeah.
kind of really creative portraiture work that is just fantastic, and I know you've won some awards with that work. So I'm excited that we can actually talk about these products about these pictures. Before we do, Ivan, let's tell everyone where to find you. Tell everyone your website real quick.
So you guys can follow me on my website, it's Ivan Duran Photography, or my Instagram, Ivan Duran Photo.
Excellent. You guys can be sure to go check him out. And like I said, scroll back through his Instagram and you're going to see some incredible photos. So let's jump into
Yeah.
this first photo, which is actually one that you posted. It was right after Shutterfest, which if I remember right, was in April.
Yeah, I really, as soon as we got to this location, like am always trying to look like every photographer, just trying to like see what's around. And for me, one of the things that I have always like been like very interested in is like reflections. So if there's kind of like a glass, there's water, I just get drawn to that. So when I saw this, I wanted to do it, but I couldn't do it right then because it was kind of like raining that day.
It
So the
was. It
water
was
was moving a
overcast.
little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
so the water was moving a little bit. So we couldn't get like a really good shot. So I just kept waiting. We were lucky enough to, the rain left us and we got like a really nice day. So this was like at the very end of that Shutterfest photo shoot. We had this gorgeous model just there for us, and I knew what I wanted to do, this reflection. So we were actually like a little bit far. So we had this one with a long lens of 70 to 200. And I believe I was all the way to 200. And we have a MagBox with a diffuser and the Profoto V10 on camera right. So when I was editing this picture, I wanted to make it kind of a little bit different from like just a wedding, kind of like, the beautiful. And I always, for me, been trying to stay away from the greens. I just don't know why I don't really like the greens that are just like very saturated. So I always kind of try to like making them a little bit warmer, a little bit different. So I was playing around with this picture. So I changed the color of this green to what is right now like kind of like a more reddish color.
So Ivan, in the beginning, I'd mentioned that you do some creative portraiture, and this is kind of along those lines, actually. But this next
Yeah.
one that I want to show everyone, it kind of goes, when I think of Ivan, these are the types of photos I think about is it looks like you do like collaborations with maybe makeup artists or hairstylists, but you always do these really cool creative shots. And I want to show this photo of, you have this model on this like kind of a sand area or like a dry lake bed or something along those lines. Tell us kind of what you're thinking as you set this up and how you lit this.
Yeah, like you said, I like to work with a lot of different artists. This person is very, very talented, the one that does all the headpieces and stuff like that. And I was, for this specific shoot, we have the AD200 and the MagBox again with the diffuser. And I found that, the diffuser just adds so much more light, and it's just incredible how you guys put it into a MagBox. I mean, it's just pretty cool. The light, the strength. It's I mean, I only used one AD200 for this one, and it was very, very close. but we were able to get this picture. And the sun is on the back, so we create that rim light around her and creating like another light coming behind her. But this one is only one light with the MagBox.
So you mentioned the diffuser. Are you referring to the focus diffuser? Is that the one you're referring
Yes.
to? Okay.
Yeah.
I happen to have one here next to me. We were actually just doing a video earlier today with that. So you use the focus diffuser with one AD200, and
Yes.
you must have had it on pretty full power or pretty high power. Is that right?
It was definitely full power, and it was very close to her.
Yeah. You know what I love about this, Ivan, is I think a lot of times photographers, especially if you're just shooting like the natural light or ambient light, something like this shot out in the desert, it would be, if you were doing this natural light with the sun behind her, the sky would have been completely white. You would have had absolutely no detail in the sky. The sun would have looked beautiful, behind the person, giving them kind of that rim light, I guess you could say. But the sky would have, you'd have lost all the detail in it. And the reason you can see so many colors and you can see the dimension in her face and everything is because you lit this, fantastic. And it looks like you even have that shadow. So it looks like your MagBox, just based on the shadow of the nose, your MagBox must have been just to the left of her a little bit. Is that right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, just camera left. Like I said, very close to it. And we shot this with like a 14, the Sigma 14, so very wide angle. And I was very low because I wanted to grab that the nice texture on the ground.
Yeah, I love it, man. Great shot. Great shot.
Thank you.
So Ivan, let's talk about this next shot, this number 3. And I think what's most interesting about this shot to me is I've photographed here before, the Palacio of Fine Arts out there in San Francisco, and this place always is packed with people. So
yes.
In addition to the how I shot it, I would be curious how you actually photographed this without any people, unless it was just major Photoshop work. But anyhow, tell us about this photograph.
So this picture, like I was saying, what we're talking about before. I just had this photo shoot last week.
Okay.
So for this specific location, I always try to wait a little bit because yes, there's so many people there. So I always try to take a couple of frames and try to take as many people walking. Sometimes I just wait because there's like a ton of people just taking pictures. There's just sometimes buses that come there just to see this place and take pictures. So it's very, very hard to get to make it seem like nobody is there.
Yeah.
So I definitely, when I go to this place and take this specific shot, I like to take a different frames. Just people are walking, take one, then people talking, take one. And then in that time, she's also like moving, doing different poses. And then I go back and see which one I like best. And then I go back and then kind of like take out the people from the other frames that I took as well, which works very well.
That's awesome. Ivan, do you actually put your camera on a tripod then?
I don't actually. I should, but I don't. I don't like to carry so much stuff.
Yeah.
So I try to keep it as as center, the same spot as possible. But yeah, I don't use the tripod.
No, that makes sense. And then I'm the same way actually. I have a monopod that I just kind of started using when I kind of pre-planned something like this. But like if I were going to Palacio of Fine Arts, I knew that I might grab some different shots and possibly stack them later on. But I'm the same way. It's like one more thing to carry, right?
It's just too much.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful image. And now, did you use the MagBox on this photograph as well? Yes,
correct. So for most of the work that I do for when they're photo shoots and they're not like the same day event, like the wedding or something like that. When I have a little more time, I like to bring the MagBox because it just creates this beautiful light. And I've been in love to put it together with a Profoto B10 because it's also really small and I can bring it anywhere. I can just put it on my bag and it's ready to go. So this one is the MagBox and Profoto B10 camera left, kind of like a 45, just getting her, her face.
I love it. I love it. That's absolutely beautiful. Right on. So MagBox camera left. You said about 45, lighting her up, and that was with the Profoto B10.
Yes, correct.
Which lens did you use on that one as well, Ivan? Do you remember?
A 14, the Sigma 14, wide angle. I use that a lot when I'm doing like buildings or like I'm pretty close to the subject and I want to grab like a lot of, in this case, this Palace of Fine Arts, I went to grab the whole thing. So yeah, the 14, Sigma 14.
Right on. All right, so Ivan, let's jump over to this photo. This one also, I know this location. I've seen it quite a few times, like in the MagMod community and things. I think it's like the San Francisco courthouse, or what is this location here for the image number 4?
This is San Francisco City Hall, and it's a very, very popular place. Like you said, many people go there all the time. So I've done countless photo shoots for quinceañeras, weddings, models, all kinds of stuff there. It's a very, very popular place, but it's always crowded as well.
Tell us about the lighting on this shot, because it's such a simple lighting setup is what it looks like.
So this one, she's just holding an AD200 with the MagSphere, and then she's just holding it with the hand that you can see with her left hand in front of her. So we were trying to like do a couple of different, try to have her like a little bit more on the stairs, have a little bit more. And I decided this one, I like it a little bit better because you can see her a little bit bigger. Yeah. Because this place is huge. I mean, it's beautiful. But yeah, they have, like you see on the left, they have these balconies. So I was standing in one of those facing this, just like this. And she was just holding one AD200. Not too much power because this place is, you think it's very well lit, but it's a really hard place to take pictures there because we have like all these windows lights coming in. Mm-hmm. But inside, when you take your camera and try to like take a picture, it's actually very dark. So you have to be careful when you take pictures there. Otherwise, your picture comes like really dark, and then some really hot spots from all the windows. It's very difficult.
Yeah. I was trying to imagine, did you have, when she was holding the AD200 with the MagSphere on it, was she just holding it straight up?
She was holding it kind of like pointing forward.
Pointing forward, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And so the MagSphere kind of helped to disperse that light, kind of make it more omnidirectional, where some of it went along the ground. You got that cool shadow coming off of her going down, and then obviously lighting up her hair to kind of create that rim there. Very, very cool. Yeah. Wow. Man. I'm impressed, dude. I love it. Like I said, I've seen a lot of shots there, and they're all beautiful. I know Christine Diaz has done some incredible photos there as well. But I think, like you said, I think it's so important that when you go in a location like this, that even just a touch of light to help carve your subject from the background is so important, especially in an environment like this where you have really bright windows on the side, but yet it's dark there in the middle. So you need something to help kind of really bring that accent to your subjects. So.
Yeah, and the light is also very different. You have like some really warm light. You have like the light coming from the windows, very cool light. So it can be like very difficult at sometimes, but it's one of those things that you have to just be careful and try a couple different things.
Yeah, love it. Awesome job. So Ivan, for this last photo, tell us about this photo with a couple. It looks like you have some kind of light or sun behind them, maybe, and I'll let you describe it. I'm trying to dissect it in my mind here.
This one, it was a recent wedding, like last month probably, and it's one of those weddings where you're just running. We were pretty much going to the car for this one. We were finished and everything, and they were just walking behind me. And every time I go to my car, I keep still my cameras with me just in case something's going on. And I always have my light stand and with a light and ready to go. So when I turn back just to tell them, okay, let's go this way, and then just to go to the car, I saw this kind of like the sun was hitting right behind them, and you have all this green because this is a Japanese garden here in the Bay Area. So I really like this. Kind of this scene, so I told him just stop there and kind of like look at each other. I put my my AD200 again, which is like a MagSphere, camera left, just facing, kind of like again 45 facing them. I believe it was a full power again because this was like around 3, so the sun was like very, very intense.
It's beautiful. It's interesting you mentioned that the time of day it was. I can tell that the sun was pretty high because you can actually see some of that light hitting, especially like her hair, for example. Yeah. It's behind her and behind him, but you can tell that it's high, which usually is not the easiest time to shoot. And I love that you used, like you said, the 8200 with the MagSphere to basically help illuminate them in the front, to create the beautiful shadows and dimension in the face, and still use that sun behind them. Again, I think it's important to just tell people, like had you not done any flash here, the background behind him, you would have had to overexpose it a little bit. You would have saw that it was green trees, but it wouldn't have been nearly as saturated and had that contrast between them and the trees behind them. So super pretty, man. Love it. Well, Ivan, you're awesome. I appreciate you taking the time and sharing it with all of us. And I always get so inspired by these calls. And I every time I'm on photo shoots, I always tell these people that I talk to in these interviews, like yourself, that I'll be like, walking away, and then all of a sudden I go, oh, I think about Ivan, and the way he framed that girl in that shot, or the way that he brought the 8200 with the MagSphere in, or that little touch of light. So every time I'm on my own shoots, I always get inspired by you guys. So I certainly appreciate you taking the time to talk to all of us.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, make sure if you want to check out more of Ivan's work, ivanduranphotography.com is his website. Ivan also does workshops. I know you're going to be doing some workshops later this year, right? Yeah,
I have one here in San Francisco in September 8 and 9. It's going to be outdoors. So the first day, we're just going to go to San Francisco, around the area, probably Palace of Fine Arts. The second day is going to be everything in studio. Right. That's in September. And I'm also going to do a couple of workshops in Mexico in October.
Nice. That's awesome. You guys will definitely have to go check him out. And then can they find information about those on your website?
Yes, you can find it actually on my Instagram, Ivan Duran Photo. I have all the information from both of them.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, we appreciate it, Ivan. And if you're watching this, guys, for the first time, be sure to subscribe to the MagMod channel on YouTube. Hit the little bell notification. That way you can be notified when we put these episodes out. We typically put them out on Fridays. So be sure to watch them, and that way you can be inspired for your weekend shoot. So again, Ivan, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.